Hello, everybody, and welcome again to our weekly webcam series. Today is Tuesday, so we are doing two episodes and reviewing uh, The Secrets of Isis, which was the Marvel Cinematic Universe early Saturday morning live action series. It featured Captain Marvel also, along with Miss Isis, played by the wonderful Joanna Cameron. And then Rick Mason was played by Rick Cup, or yes, sorry. Rick Mason was played by Barry Cutler, and then you had Joanna Pang, who played Cindy Lee. So, and in this episode, an actor who also stood in for Captain Marvel while Jackson Boswick was doing it over at Shazam was John Dacey. John Dacey is going to be in this episode called Funny Gal. And then the next one we'll review is called Girl Driver, which features Sarah Lawrence. You might recognize her from Dr. Shrinker, from the H&R Puffin Stuff series of shows. Yes. So she played BJ in that. But in this one, she is a girl slash, a girl who is a mechanic slash student. She wants to become the auto club president. You know how things were back in school in those days when people wanted to be, class president of something, or whether it was for the entire class or if it was for certain clubs like chess club, things like that. I was actually the president of the chess club. Yeah. Me and a guy named Jim, not my other buddy Jim, who was James Fogle, but another guy, I can't remember his last name. But Jim and I were both presidents of together of our very small chess club. We had a total of four people in the chess club. Since I started and joined with Mr. Paul Vino, rest in peace, first, he was the sponsor of our chess club. I believe he did make me officially the president, but my vice president was Jim. So, and we all were important in the group. We all played chess. We played it pretty well. Yeah, I have to say we were the only chess club in our high school for a little while. So, hey, memories. Anyway, uh, before we start, as I said, we should start on time. We pretty much did, probably about 30 seconds before one, but that's fine. Um, we did have two tragic losses in this past few days, as I mentioned in the chat. The first one, of course, was James Earl Jones, who died the other day. He was the voice, of course, of Darth Vader, but he did a lot of other great things in both movies and TV. He is also one of the few people to win a Grammy, an Emmy, a Tony from Broadway, the Emmy from TV, the Grammy from music, and an Oscar. He received his honorary Oscar a few years ago. Yeah. So he's one of the few that has the four major awards. Yeah. Pretty impressive. Then we lost 2 days ago, which I just found out, anime voiceover actress Emi Shinohara. She was the voice of Sailor Jupiter in the Sailor Moon series, and she also voiced in the Naruto Naruto. Yeah, Naruto fame. She's dead at age 61 of an undisclosed condition. So don't know on that one yet. But I think that's going to hurt my niece Monique Durant because she is a huge Sailor Moon fan. And in fact, her very first Comic Con she went to was as a character from Sailor Moon. So a bitter loss for fandom today, fans of Sailor Moon, and my niece being one of them. Sorry, Monique. God bless you, Monique, for being such a great fan. And I'm sorry that one of your heroes is gone. But it's been happening a lot lately. Very sad. But anyway, let's get to some fun stuff. So let's start with Funny Gal. And officially, that is season one and episode 12. Today we're doing episodes 12 and 13. So let's get to this first. Now, this received it currently has a 6.0 out of 10. And so I think I pretty much will give it the same grade, probably a grade C. Um, I gave it a C plus, actually B minus, right around that, because it featured Captain Marvel, even though it wasn't the Captain Marvel of Shazam fame. Um, it was another actor playing him. I wish it could have been Boswick, but you know. Anyway, this episode aired November 22nd, 1975. The director, of course, was Hollingsworth Morse, which he did a lot of episodes. Sidney Morse, his brother, actually co-wrote this episode along with Mark Richards. And of course, it featured Joanna Cameron as Isis and Miss Thomas, and then Brian Cutler as Rick Mason, and Joanna Payne as Cindy Lee. And as I said, we did have John Davey, not Dacey, I'm sorry, Davey, Davey, who appeared as Captain Marvel. Then Carrie Anson, the funny gal, was played by Sandra Vasey. She no longer acts. She stopped after 1980, I believe. Or was that Sarah Lawrence? I usually get them all mixed up. But anyway, Sandra Vasey was only in acting for a little while. She plays Carrie Anson. And then Jonas Agee plays Greg Alley, her friend. Okay, so let's get to trivia first. Okay, so this is the first time that Captain Marvel comes to Isis's aid. He will come to her aid two more episodes before the series ends. And this episode's title is an obvious reference to the musical Funny Girl, but they called it Funny Gal. Yeah. And like we said, the basic plot is that an overweight girl with low self-esteem steals Mr. Mason's boat for a publicity stunt and gets in so much danger that Isis has to call on superhero Captain Marvel to assist her. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay. Now we have today, we do have Goose quotes. There's no soundtrack, but we do also have, oh, and I'm sorry, there's no filming and production. That's interesting. Anyway, let's get to the Goof and quote. Okay, on the Goose, there is just one. It's miscellaneous. So after Captain Marvel rescued Carrie Anson, he warned her the false distress signal she put out to the Coast Guard was a very serious matter. Now, unless Carrie admits putting out a false alarm, there is no way to prove it because the boat did develop the leak about 1 minute later. Ah, that's very helpful. Okay, and quotes. Alrighty. And there's just two. So Cindy Lee goes, "You know something, Mr. Mason? I think you ought to get married." "I'm going to." Andrea Thomas Isis says, "You are? When?" Rick says, "As soon as I find someone who looks like Isis and cooks like you." And then, of course, her best line in this whole episode, Andrea Thomas, she says, "Well, if that's your attitude towards women, you're going to end up a very old and hungry bachelor." That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, yeah, I miss poor Joanna Cameron. Yeah, she passed away 2 years ago in 2022. Very sad. She was in a lot of great stuff. Okay, so it was referenced in the Shazam episode called Finders Keepers, which came out in 1976. Billy refers to the time Isis's bird Tut came to him for help. And then in the Shazam TV series, of course, it says Captain Marvel comes to aid Isis. So those were the two connections. Okay. And welcome, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. How you doing, my friend? In super double secret lurk mode. Well, it's good to see you, brother. And everyone, by the way, uh, he's technically not here, but he's doing a special tonight on the election coverage, the presidential debate between Kumbaya Harris and Trump Card, and that's at 7 p.m. Eastern. Come on by. We're gonna have some fun. Anyway, my review on this is, like I said, I gave it a C plus, between a C plus and a B minus. It was a good episode. I was happy that they did allow Captain Marvel to assist, since we knew that ISIS, you know, with the boat being caught out there in the ocean, and she couldn't just bring in the boat and also be able. She knew her powers had limits, so she went and got the help of Captain Marvel to assist, and that was pretty cool. And then what Captain Marvel's character does, John Davy, what he does is they have a stuntman. He jumps into the water, grabs the rope, and you can see actually one or two people, I think, pushing the boat from behind or something is, and he's pulling it and pulling it in. And while she's up there in the air controlling the storm and calming the seas, 'cause she's the nature, uh, goddess, uh, superheroine. So yeah, that worked out great, for both of them. That's awesome. So yeah, so I gave it a um, right. So I gave it a about a 3.5 out of 5. So that was about a C plus, between a C plus and B minus, more like a C plus. I was just happy, like I said, that Captain Marvel was in there. Now he does appear two more times in the ISIS series before it ends. Remember, there are only 22 episodes. So yeah. All righty. Let's go to the next episode here. And this one, and we'll get to the guide here. Oh boy. I hate woke stuff. All right. Let's see. I hate woke ads. Let's just say that. All right. Okay, from season one, the next one we got here is called Girl Driver. And that's episode 13. And during a safety driving competition between a boy and a beautiful girl, the boy cheats, which eventually puts his life in grave danger, and Isis rushes to try and save him. This got about the same grade for me, probably another two grade or point grades up. So it went, the first one was 3.5. This one was probably a 3.7 because of the acting, which was actually decent. And by the way, when you watch the previous episode, there was one thing I forgot. Isis doesn't do her normal tip at the end of the episode. She doesn't talk about like the morals of the episode or anything. It's just commonplace. This lady did something wrong and her low self esteem. I think everybody pretty much caught on. And because it featured Marvel, that's why they didn't you know, do a tip at the end. They did for this one. And I missed that from the last time. So that's maybe why I gave it the point two more and made it 3.7 and gave it more of the B minus. Yeah, more of the B minus on this episode. But anyway, the boy cheats, which eventually puts his life in grave danger, and Isis rushes to try and save him. Also, the girl that is the mechanic is in it, as I mentioned, is Sarah Lawrence, and she played BJ in a few episodes of that Dr. Shrinker uh, Saturday morning live action, which came from H&R Puff and stuff. And the director of this episode was Arnold Lavin. The writers were David Wise, Kathleen Barnes, Mark Richards. It featured the usual three suspects. And of course, Albert Reed. Now, Albert Reed is a very good story. So I'm going to mention him real quick. He was in the original uh, disaster movie Airport. I believe he also might have done a minor appearance in Airport 1975. He was Dr. Barnes, and he passed away back in 1990 at the age of 68. He was very well known actor over the years, African American actor, and he was a good part of ISIS, coming in every once in a while, being the voice of authority. But yeah, he did a good job. Steve Dubay was Mac Leonard. He was the man that was being a chauvinist pig, uh, because he didn't think that women could work on cars and also race them. And of course, Freddie, which was short for Frederica Charlton, was played by the lovely Susan Lawrence. So, yeah, very, very good show. It was a good episode. All right, let's see what we have. Okay, now today, let's see. Yep, I told everyone the plot. So today, we don't have any trivia for this episode. Probably not much. We don't need it that much today. Um, so we do have filming and production. We'll go to that real quick. Okay. And according to this, there were three locations that the episode was filmed at. Of course, the main studios, which they call Ray Art, that was on 6625 Varial Avenue in Canoga Park, Los Angeles, California. Freddie Charlton's garage location was located in Agora Hills. That's Agoura, outside of LA. And it was at 28,236 Dorothy Drive. I believe that garage is no longer there. And the opening scene, Cindy is driving a 1972, 1973 saffron colored Triumph TR6, and she tells passenger Andrea about Freddie Charlton. So it's a pull up scene. Excuse me. And that scene was also filmed in Agora Hills at 28,108 Laura LaPlante Drive. Yeah. So very cool. And let's see here. Yeah, there's all the stars I mentioned. Okay. And like I said, the other episode um, this episode was released November 29th, 1975. As I said, the other one, uh, Funny Gal, was released November 22nd, 1975. And the original title, also known as, is still Girl Driver. So they kept the same uh, information. Okay. All right. Well, that was a short one today. Well, we got two watching in the chat. Um, that's cool. I'll just use a few minutes here and say, uh, I'm curious to see, like I said, since I have already lived here for 7 years officially now. That was 2 days ago, September 8th, when I first moved here officially to Canada and permanently. And yes, Gorilla, I'm a gorilla. Yes, I'm a trans maple tree now. I used to be a transplant. Now I'm no longer that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a Canadian immigrant, so to speak. Um, yeah. But I'm a trans maple tree now. I spew maple syrup. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just curious to see what's gonna happen with the presidential debate tonight. Since I really don't have a stake in it, I really don't want to say any more about it much, but I'm curious just to see what's going to happen. Either way, I'm sorry, USA, but you're screwed. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, we're already screwed up here. So, hey, join the club. We got terrible people in office up here, PM and everybody else. So, hey, what can we do? Anyway, um, Don't forget tomorrow, of course, is the anniversary, unfortunately, of 9/11. Right around, I believe, 8 o'clock in the morning. Sometime before that, there's going to be a big uh, m- re- memorial service, a lot of remembrances of many people that passed away that day. The crash at Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the one that ran right into the Pentagon, and of course the two that ran into the Twin Towers and collapsed them both. They're at number one uh, Tower Center, right there in the heart of Manhattan. Uh, One of my ex-wives has been there already to Ground Zero, has seen it. I've never seen it. I don't think I could handle it if I went there with Suzanne. My wife, yeah, I don't think I can handle it very well. But my brother Philip, his 57th birthday is tomorrow. So I am going to try to call him sometime in the afternoon and wish him happy birthday. But he's not very happy about it, for obvious reasons. So tomorrow is the 23rd anniversary, unfortunately, of this tragic accident. Well, tragic murders, but you know what I mean. So many people that died. Uh, one of the prominent ones the only one of the few prominent ones I remember is Kenny Kirkland, who was the keyboardist for Sting of the Police when he went solo. And Kenny, rest in peace, was in one of the buildings and when it collapsed. So that night, Sting was going to do a special concert for his friends in his villa outside of Rome, Italy. Was going to be in Tuscany, and which has vineyards and everything. And he was really worried because Sting had just heard, and he was really worried later that night, was he going to go forward with it or not? All of his bandmates, his remaining bandmates, and several other players that came to play with him that night told Sting, yes, you should proceed. So, which was one of the most poignant moments, Sting decided to go worldwide uh, for free. There was no pay per view, it was nothing like that. He was on several channels. He also appeared on public broadcasting stations throughout the United States. So that's what I remember. Um, I was in a uh, advanced PCS training course when the incident happened. Three people went into hysterics. Three ladies. One ran out of our building, never returned. The other one just broke down and lost it, just completely lost it. And the other one begged to go to the bathroom to cry privately. At that point, our instructor told us, yeah, go home. And so my dad was recording it. Yeah. And then I went home. My mom was in shock. She didn't know what to say. I watched it with her. My dad later watched it with us. Uh, you know, it was earth shattering. We never anticipated anything happening like that. And yeah, so that's tomorrow on Wednesday, September 11th. Yeah. Well, some people, here's the worst part. The December 7th, 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor, that is exactly 60 years later that the 2001 attack happens. And it doesn't miss by much. So about 60 years plus a few months, 2 months to be exact. Yeah. It's insane. Or 3 months, I'm sorry. Yeah. So 60 years, 3 months. Right. So it's really tragic. It's just insanely like all the loss of lives from those 2 days. And two of my cousins, fortunately or unfortunately, both ladies were born on that day, on December 7th. That was my cousin Debbie and my cousin Linda. Yeah. And Debbie will be the same age I am, 59. When I have my birthday coming up here on September 22nd, which is a Sunday, we're going to do a 3-day celebration. We're going to celebrate Friday, the 20th, with Star Trek 5, Life is But a Dream. Uh, on Saturday, we'll do a pre-celebration in the afternoon. I believe the time is going to be at 9 p.m. Yeah, we'll do a live stream at 9 p.m. on both Friday and Saturday, and then uh, Eastern, and then on Sunday or on Saturday is my cousin Janet, or my sister-in-law. She turns 59, and then Sunday will be my birthday. I turn 59, and I believe we'll start at 3 p.m. Eastern with a live stream. So we're looking forward to that. And then the rest of the stuff that's coming, like I said, tomorrow, we'll do 2 episodes of The Greatest American Hero, and we'll also remember all the ones, all of our friends and acquaintances and relatives, and the firefighters and the emergency crew and the policemen, all the people we lost on that one tragic day tomorrow. So we'll make sure we remember them. And also, then on Thursday, uh, don't forget there's Nerd Roundtable with Resolute Germ later in the evening. But that's also that afternoon, of course, at 1 p.m. Eastern, where I'll be doing the 2 episodes again of the A Team. Friday will be the Waltons stream with Gorilla and the rest of our gang. And then Saturday is when I'll be doing the MikeySuzeFour movie Mayhem night. And on that night at 9 p.m. Eastern will be Star Trek 4 The Voyage Home. So I'm looking very much forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow won't be so much, but I mean, we'll get through it. But the rest of the time will be. Don't forget, we do have future plans also for October, November, and 2 special streams, just 2 streams. No other webcams on December. That'll be for Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So we're all looking forward to that. Now, at the end of this week, on Friday, um, I'm just going to ask in a poll. Uh, we're thinking of doing uh, unsolved mysteries type shows, like In Search of, Unsolved Mysteries, Beyond, you know, Beyond Fact and or Fiction. A lot of those different shows. I'd like to try them next year, and I also want to try uh, the Star Trek and the Star Wars starting next year fan films. Because I think after we do Enterprise, the next one I'm going immediately to is the Star Trek: The New Voyages fan fan series with James Cawley. I'm sorry, James Cawley, and then we'll do Vic Minona's Star Trek Continues. Those are also official canon. So I want to do those um, after we do the as we start the Star Trek TOS, TAS, TNG, Voyager, I'm sorry, TNG, DS9 Voyager, and Enterprise. And then we'll go the new voyages, and then the Star Trek continues. So that will all come on Tuesday when we're done doing the Secrets of ISIS. And then what I planned on doing for Wednesdays, after we're done with TGAH, the greatest American hero, is Get Smart. And we'll do Get Smart series. So for next year, as I said, I'm going to put in just one poll. I'm going to ask everyone, uh, do they want us to do, do you want us to do next year some, uh, mystery type shows, reviews, like, Ancient Aliens, Beyond Fact or Fiction, uh, Unsolved Mysteries, In Search of, those type of shows, Mayday, Disaster, things like that. If you want us to do those shows, let us know. We can also do reviews of some of these prominent shows that came out back in the 70s and early 80s, Chariots of the Gods, um, some of those type of shows. So if you want us to do that, I will put in a poll starting on Friday, which is the 13th. I'll put in the poll and ask you, would you like us to do those kind of mystery shows with aliens and all that stuff? Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, and so on. So yes, um, and that'll be a yes or no poll. And then what I'll do is just leave that poll going constantly till we get to December. I'll do one webcam beginning December 1st, not only to celebrate one of my girls, my kitty cat's birthdays, which would be Deja Vu, she'll be 4, but I will also give you the final results of the poll, and we'll see if you guys and gals want us to do that next year. So that'll be Friday. I'll post that poll for everyone before I do a gorilla stream later that night. Okay, so as you know, 3.5 on the first episode that I reviewed, Funny Gal as a recap, and then a 3.7 out of 5 stars and a B minus grade, a C plus for the other, but a C minus or B minus for the other episode, which was Girl Driver. So thank you everyone for coming today, especially Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Sorry, he's in super double secret lurk mode. Well, thank you, brother Gorilla, for coming today. Look forward to his show tonight. Um, and I don't, yeah, he's not doing Freaks or Geeks tomorrow. Uh, I think he's got something else planned for 9/11. Yeah, he's doing a memorial tribute, I believe. So I definitely want to be a part of that. And then Thursday, like I said, Resolute German do his Nerd Roundtable, his Saturday morning cartoons. He has that usually starting at 11 a.m. his time, about 1 o'clock. Uh, I'm sorry, 10 o'clock his time. So 11, 12, 1. Yeah, so 1 o'clock my time in the afternoon. That's Saturday morning. So yeah, look forward to that. And then, of course, Sunday, Gorilla does a movie of his choice Sunday nights. So that's a lot of fun. Make sure you check out his channel. Uh, Make sure you also check out our friend Resolute Germ and several other friends we know on this channel. So, with that, in the immortal words of our favorite man, Gene Siskel of the Chicago Sun-Times, thank you for watching. And now the aisle is closed. And one last thing I'd like to say too. Uh, is just a quick prayer. Uh, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. I just want to say a quick prayer, Lord, that you watch over everyone tomorrow for the special memorial to all the people that we lost from the 9/11 attacks. Make sure you're watching over their families as they mourn their loved ones and continue to pray for the rest of this world that it remains in peace even after the events that transcribe from now until November. And with all this, we pray, Lord, to the Blessed Trinity and to the Blessed Virgin Mary, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. There we go. And now the aisle's closed. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Check out. Remember, make sure you hit the like button today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're only 8 away from 200. And also, don't forget to hit the notification bell, ding, 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 so that you know of future events that are coming up, including the webcams and our live streams, which are subscribers only. And don't forget, uh, you know, birthdays come fast, holidays come faster. So be prepared this year for the holidays. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you again on MikeySuzeFour. Peace. Oh wait, there's Captain Marvel. Woohoo! Shazam! See you guys later. And girls.